All right, today we're trying something a little more ambitious. A rich, boldly flavored Spanish stew called Callos. This is a dish you'd find slow simmering in bars and restaurants and home kitchens all across Madrid. It's built on tripe and trotters and blood sausage and chorizo. It's got chickpeas, incredible stock. It's rustic, unapologetic, and completely satisfying if you give it the time it needs. Don't be intimidated. This one is all about slow simmering and letting simple ingredients turn into something incredible. Let's go. You're going to need both yellow and white onions, some serrano, chorizo, trotters, some blood sausage, sweet or hot or both, tripe, chickpeas, and you can definitely use canned. So the first thing you want to do is we're just going to cut this into small little pieces, fit in a spoon. So we're looking for pieces about that big. Okay, get these out of the package. So we're just gonna, like when you buy pig's feet, you typically buy them split, or if you're buying from a butcher, ask them to split them. There'll be a little bit of meat and fat that we're gonna pull out of this, but largely this is just for flavor, for collagen. We'll pull the bones out and just try to recover as much as we can, but the 3 hours of this braising, the pig's feet do their job. Quick little wash up for the cutting board. Just our big hex clad pot. I'm just gonna put trotters in there and all the tripe. We're gonna cover that with water. Bring it to a boil, let it boil for about 5 minutes, drain it, and then we'll start the braise. Okay, for the braising part, I'm just gonna prep our onions and garlic. Okay. Okay, now we're just gonna get the tripe and the trotters in there, ready to slow simmer for about 3 hours. We're gonna add our onion and our garlic, and like 10 to 12 peppercorns. We're gonna cover that with stock and a bit of water. I'm gonna use about 2 liters of this really great pork stock that I have. You can do just water. You don't need to use stock. And the rest will just be water until I've covered up all the veggies in the tripe. And one thing I almost forgot, bay leaves. You need about 3 of them. We're going to bring this to a quick rolling boil and then lower it to simmer for about 3 hours. Okay, so here's something you can do. You can take your blood sausage and you can just firm them up a little bit because they're pretty soft. And when you cut them into discs, just to prevent them from breaking up a little too much, you can just cook them for like 10 minutes in the stock. It makes them a little easier to keep them together later on. While the blood sausage is firming up, get the rest of your ingredients ready. It's a whole white onion, about 5 cloves of garlic, roughly chopped, and some serrano ham, again, roughly chopped. Okay, the braising's done. The blood sausages are out. Also got my chorizo ready there. We're just gonna get everything we don't need in the braising liquid out. So the onions have done their job. The bay leaves also, they have done their jobs. Okay, now we just want to get all the tripe out of the pot. And when we encounter one of the trotters, we're just going to pull the bones out of that. I'm going to pull the bones out and then put everything else back in. You don't have to do it. We've done a lot of work. There's a lot of flavor out of those. Okay, all the tripe's out. I'm taking the stock, putting it over here, putting our big chicken fryer on. Let's start sauteing some veggies. Okay, we're just slicing the chorizo and the blood sausage up into little pucks like that. Okay, now the blood sausage. So here's just a quick little lesson. You just take the pig's trotters and you just pull all the fat and meat off that you can and just discard the rest of it. Okay, let's crank this big chicken fryer up. A couple big lugs of olive oil and right in with the onions, the garlic, and the serrano. We're doing this over a medium-high heat. So at this point, you can add some big cracks of black pepper. Okay, after a couple minutes, we're going to just add 1 to 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Big tablespoon of Spanish paprika. This is optional, but I also do a smoked paprika. I'm going to add a little bit of smoked paprika to this batch. About another tablespoon. Next we have the chorizo. Okay, I like to add just 1 ladle of the stock. And now we add back in all of our tripe. Now, you can start salting everything now. I personally like salting the stock. So off camera, I added in about 3 big pinches of salt to the stock, and I got the stock tasting exactly the way I'd want it if it was a soup. And then I'm just going to add that stock to the dish. Get that full. Now we add the blood sausage. You add this later because, again, this stuff isn't as sort of bulletproof as the chorizo. So we just want to be a little more gentle with our blood sausage. Again, we're just going to bring this up to a boil and get the rest of the stock in there. Okay, this is now boiling. We want to lower that down to a low simmer. This should be ready to eat in about, here, 1 second. So that'll be ready to eat in about probably 20 minutes. I'm going to get the heck out of here, go walk my dog because he's been driving me nuts. You might be able to hear him panting off screen here. This can simmer for a few more hours. Just put it on low, put a lid on, sort of with a little bit of an opening. You go chill out and wait for your guests to arrive. You've done all the hard work. And there you have it. Just ladle yourself a nice big bowl, some fresh crusty breads, and dig in. See, it takes, a good 3 hours to soften that, and then another hour or so with everything else mixed in. This is just butter soft. The tripe is tender.